Welcome back. Alyssa here, another Plan With Me video, and I'm pretty excited about today's video because it is my October Plan With Me, and October is a great month. You've got Halloween in the upper hemisphere. Up here, it's fall, and it's really when things start to get into fall. I feel like some years September is the start of fall, but it really waited this year because the trees aren't even yellow yet. But first things first, gonna do a quick flip through of the previous month. I really enjoyed this new take on Habit Tracker. I thought the layout was very nice, it's very clean, and the colors are also lovely. I'll probably do something similar to this in the future, but for October, I have something different in mind, and we'll see what that looks like in a little bit. But I'd like to file this spread away for future use. This pink ink that is used on this page, I believe is the Pilot Iroshizuku Tsutsuji, which I wasn't really jazzed about at first, but the color is really growing on me. The gratitude and expense trackers, I put them together always because I just think they fit together. And the gratitude page is pretty typical. I filled in a lot of really random, silly things that I'm grateful for, and it's just a nice, bright moment of my day. And I ended up not really liking this expense tracker at all. It was too vague, and I wasn't really quite sure how to fill it in. There wasn't a lot of space for days where I bought multiple things, which I do tend to do. I tend to kind of batch my shopping, and part of this is because I do a lot of shopping on Amazon, and then also just, get paid, spend the money on what you need to spend it on, and then you kind of have a lull in between paychecks. At least I do. And so this style of expense tracker I probably won't ever use again. It didn't really work, and I kind of had to force myself to fill it in. My writing tracker, I intended to do a lot more writing, and then I had all these columns for revisions of different chapters that I ended up not using just because I didn't get that far. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this page. I liked it. I didn't use it as much as I had planned to, and that's okay. I am making progress on my writing just little by little. And here are all the weekly and daily spreads that I did throughout September, almost in October there. October hasn't happened yet, don't panic. These are for September, and I had a lot of fun with fountain pens. I'm really kind of getting back into it. I had a month where I was just overwhelmed by everything. I wasn't really doing a lot of writing, and now I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm making good use of my fountain pens. I just got the new TWSBI Eco that I'm pretty excited about, and I'm just really excited about it. So this is a current week. I'm still working on some decorations, so it does look very sparse right now, but so far it's a good week. I'm prioritizing my productive work. I feel okay. My shoulder slash rib injury that I mentioned in an art video is doing a lot better. In case anyone was worried, I'm feeling a lot better and I have more physical therapy today. Um, so that's September. Now gonna go on to October. And I mentioned before that I had ordered a Hipponoto, and someone mentioned, oh, it might not be here in time, and they were right. It still hasn't been shipped yet. I don't know what's going on. If another month or two passes, I'll probably reach out and be like, hey, what's up? But in the meantime, I ordered this little notebook from Goulet Pens. It's just got the 68 GSM Tomoe River Paper, so this will be the first Tomoe River Paper notebook that I've used. I've had some loose sheets of it in my drawers that I had intended to bind into a notebook, but it turned out it had this big logo on the bottom and the dots are only printed on one side. So I ended up not being able to use it for notebook binding. So this is the first time I'll be working with it on a regular daily basis, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. I am a little bit worried about smudges. I have noticed that almost every fountain pen ink on Tomoe River Paper will just smudge all over when you put your hands on it, which I'm going to try and avoid doing, but I just do. I put my hands in all the ink and smear it everywhere all the time. So, this is going to be a challenge, but I think it's going to be a fun challenge. And I did a little watercolor test on the back here where I put some watercolor in multiple layers and then I wrote some ink and then I watercolored on the back. And the reason I do this is because I found out once, I think it was with Rhodia originally, or maybe North Books, some papers, if you put ink on one side, watercolor on the other side of the page, it will just kind of suck the ink right through the page. And so it initially did not bleed, and then you put water on the other side and it starts to bleed. This one has, like, it might be the faintest amount of bleeding, or it might just be really bad ghosting. It's very difficult for me to tell. So I'm just going to take it kind of careful. I'm going to try and only watercolor one side of each page if I can. I might risk it in some places and just see if it looks really bad. Because this is my notebook, I can make mistakes in it if I want to, and each mistake is a potential learning experience. So for this plan with me, I'm just gonna play it on the safe side, and then in the future I might do some more experiments in here. This first page, I have put down some pencil sketches of little divisions of the page, and this left side here is going to be my goals page, and I've divided it out between different categories. I found that putting things in categories just kind of helps me organize them in my head. And then this right side is going to be a combination habit tracker and also a little calendar. And so it's just going to be a vertical log with the habits on the left side of that page, and then the right side is just like notes for events or meetings or whatever I need to write down. And for the watercolor, I just started with a pale yellow color around the border, and then I'm slowly getting darker and darker and moving inwards toward the center here, and it just kind of makes it look like a glow of sorts or like a flame. It's not like a realistic fire painting, but just the effect I really liked. I did this on some practice paper just when I was trying to test the sheets of Tomoe River Paper. I did some painting tests, and it was totally a coincidence that I tried something similar to this just to get some layers down, and I ended up really liking how it looked, so I'm going with it. And then for the pen, so the header for October and then the little numbers in the monthly side, I just used my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, and then also um, when writing on watercolor, I found that the fountain pen ink will spread really far, so it's kind of like feathering, but not exactly like feathering. But just to avoid this, I used a normal micron pen to number all these lines and kind of write in the little progress bars for the goals. And I felt like it needed some kind of visual division for these little sections here, so I also added the Tombow dual brush pen in coral, which I thought was a nice color to go with these other like yellowy red colors. As usual, I won't actually fill in my specific goals for October until October starts because I do have like a whole week ahead of me that's left in September. Today is the 25th, so not exactly a whole week, but um, I do want to see what I can get done in September before I start migrating stuff over. I don't want to copy things over that end up not being relevant because I did end up finishing them. So I like to leave the very specific setup until right the first day of October. And you might have noticed this one column on the left here titled Ink. I'm going to try and participate in Inktober in some way. I haven't even decided yet how I'm going to do it, so that's going to be as much a surprise to me as it is to you guys. I think I might just do some fountain pen drawings, but I'm not 100% sure I'll really have time. Um, we're gonna see. We're gonna kind of plan it as we go this year and see where it takes us. The next two pages are the expense and gratitude pages, and you can see I did a tiny little test at the bottom there of how ink works on the back side when you watercolor on the other side, and I just wasn't really confident that it wouldn't bleed through all that ink. So what I did was I just used pens to decorate this page, and I grabbed a couple of different Tombows here, this coral one, an orangey yellow one, and a normal yellow one. And I made this pattern that sort of ended up looking a little bit like plaid. It's obviously not exact. I'm just kind of, scribbling colors down on the page in different angles, but the way the lines cross each other at right angles or roughly right angles, because it is not it is not very precise. I thought it looked a little bit like plaid, and it could have probably used more decoration. I wasn't sure how I would feel about it if it was completely colored in. So I just did what I wanted. I was watching TV while I did this, so it was just a fun little relaxing thing, and I think I do really like the end result. I do prefer to keep these pages pretty calm and not too busy because usually the stuff that goes on them is very busy. With the gratitude page, it's a lot of text, and then the expenses tracker, it's a lot of numbers and little bits of information. So keeping the designs pretty tame and then focusing on the content of the page usually works better in these situations. And then for the headers, just my Tombow Fudenosuke pen. Again, I was thinking I would have to buy a new one of these, but it hasn't completely died yet, so I'm kind of biding my time. This thing has lasted such a long time, probably over a year of not super regular use, but I use it quite a bit. It's the only like nice black brush pen that I have. I do have a Faber-Castell Pit Artist brush pen, but it's not very stiff, so the tip kind of leaves little bits of ink everywhere, and it also I think got frayed a little bit, maybe just from overuse. And this last page I'm setting up for my month of October is I'm calling it a quick log. It's kind of like a space to summarize each day, just a little like mini journal for the whole month. There's not a real focus for this, like it doesn't have to only be good things or like things I learned. It's just a space to remember each day of the month and also to remind me to maintain a journaling habit because I kind of fall in and out of the more like reflective forms of journaling. So I would really like to be doing long form journaling on a regular basis, and I just fall out of the habit, and then it takes me quite a bit to get back into the habit. I want to keep this page very simple because there's going to be a lot of text on it, and for the same reason as the gratitude expense page, I just don't want it to be so visually busy. That's it for this month's setup. I'll do a quick little flip back to the other pages, and then the weekly and dailies will be set up week by week, probably in videos, but maybe not. Those are usually the ones that I cut if I'm a little overwhelmed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got some ideas for your own October setup. I'll be back this week with another art video, and then hopefully more bullet journaling videos throughout October. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and give it a little thumbs up if you feel like it. No pressure. So I'll be back soon with another video, and I hope to see you there. Bye!